My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick, and I got my guest, Milo Acosta. And Milo, forgive me, I don't know your official title at Sisel anymore. You've upgraded. You're like the 2.0 version,
Yes, yeah, my title is Vice President of Global Sales right now.
Vice President of Global Sales. So you kind of know what you're doing, I'm guessing.
Yeah, just a little. I've been doing this for almost 30 years, so I hope I do know what I'm doing.
All right. And you know, if I remember right, you helped design this compensation plan a little bit, right?
I
Or
did,
maybe
yes.
more than a little bit.
8 years ago, when I came here, my former boss asked me to kind of take a look at us, who we are, and what we needed to change a little. So we went through the comp plan. It was a little confusing to understand and to explain, and we decided to upgrade it and make it more simple and make it a little more profitable for the field. And we haven't touched it since. We made a promise that we weren't going to change the compensation plan, and it's been a little over 8 years since we did that, and we're keeping our promise to keep consistency on the field and internally as well.
I like that. Yeah. And the thing about it is, there's nine profit centers when you include like the loyalty rewards. There's really nine profit centers. And sometimes people get a little confused by that. So I tell them, I said, don't learn all the ins and outs. Don't try and memorize the comp plan because then you get what you and I were talking about last weekend, analysis paralysis, right?
That's correct. Yes, and even
Yeah.
with products or compensation plan on anything we do, we want to keep this simple. When we explain the loyalty rewards, when we explain, Fast Start or whatever it is, or the products, when we talk about products, the more simple that we explain it and make it seem to new people, the easier for them will be to say, I can do this. I can share this and I can talk to my people about this without making it so complex.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the whole thing. So, about 2 years ago, I kind of came up with the idea that, why don't we just get the new people to understand how do you earn enough money to get your products for free? Because, when are you going to quit taking the products if the company's paying you to take them?
Right.
And that's kind of my idea is that way you don't have to learn all the ins and outs and everything like that. And if you keep doing that, and if you keep going out and finding new people, and you tell them, hey, I got a great company, you got to take a look at the products and this and that. Um, they're gonna take a better look. But the thing about it is, a lot of people say to me, yeah, what does it cost?
Right.
That's
And
like
then, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just say that's the first question that comes out of everybody's mouth. They're like, "Oh yeah, I was in one of those network marketing deals, and it cost me a lot of money."
And that's a very fair question, and we get that a lot within the industry. At the end of the day, I mean, what kind of products are we buying out when we say, well, we have a toothpaste, for instance, that's super that for them it's expensive, where you can go to Walmart and buy it for $2. Yeah, but what are we actually putting in our mouths? You see the toxins and chemicals that they put on all toothpaste, and even they say if you consume more than a pea size, you need to call poison control. I mean, what's expensive to you? If it's Are you okay to taking that risk and swallowing that product, or maybe not that one day, maybe constantly. Obviously, our mouth is one of the most absorbable parts in our body. All those toxins that aren't meant to be processed by the body, sooner or later, we'll end up somewhere in the hospital trying to cure some weird disease, So what's expensive to you? I mean, I think if we educate people on being preventative to avoid those issues later on, because we try to save a couple bucks in cheaper products and cheaper laundry detergents, cheaper coffees or whatever it is, at the end of the day, it's more expensive to pay for those bills, hospital bills, than actually taking care of yourself when you're, at this age, whatever age you're at, the younger the better, you start getting older and, there's more issues here and there, and you wish you would have done something different when you're younger, but it's never too late to do that. And if we just change our mindset into realizing that we want to take care of ourselves, and instead of just coming to you, doc, and say, hey, I have this pull muscle in my on my back. I need you to fix me. Instead of consuming products that will keep your muscles strong, so whenever you work or do whatever you do, I mean, you're always going to be healthy, instead of just asking for something to help them cure or heal themselves right there and then, and need like a magic pill to make it go away. I think we need to change our mindset and think for in the future to make sure that we're healthy, health or healthier.
Yeah. Yeah, RFK, Robert F. Kennedy, he just said on a recording probably 2 or 3 days ago, he said that if you take a look right now in the 1950s, when his, I mean, what would that have been? His great uncle or whatever got into politics when JFK got into politics, he said that in the United States, only 3% of people, 3% of the population had a chronic health problem. And now the latest information says that it's up to 73% now. And that's in 50 years or 70 years. Well, it's gone from 3% to 73%.
Yeah, that's outrageous. And they made studies also, for the farmlands, the soils, the minerals. Before, 50 years ago, they have a study on broccoli, I think, and lettuce, some vegetables, and the amount of minerals in them, and compared to the amount of minerals with those same vegetables now, and it's ridiculous. I mean, we're just consuming cardboard pretty much. There's no nutrients in the soil anymore, for over farming, and the sprays that we spray on our fruits and vegetables, the fertilizers, the weed kill, all these things that are toxic, that aren't meant for that. Obviously, back in those days, they didn't use that. It was all natural. They grew their own things, and they consume it. And even chickens and poultry and beef and all that, it was all natural. Because of the demand, we want to, they actually do hormones, put hormones on everything, on pork and chickens and beef, just to make them grow faster, to sell and make them grow bigger. Doesn't necessarily, bigger and is healthier. They go by the pounds. That's what they get paid for. Farmers and ranchers. It's the heavier the cow, or the heavier the fruits and vegetables, the more that you get paid. So we actually pay the price because we don't get enough nutrients. We don't get enough healthy things that our bodies actually need. We take those hormones too. We eat them, and think that we're consuming this amazing salad, and when in reality we're eating fertilizer on our tomatoes and lettuce, and these hormones on our chicken salad, and we think we're good, and all of a sudden we gain weight, and we're sick, and we wonder why.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know why, so that's why it's so important, be thinking preventative, and taking our supplements, our minerals, our products for our gut, and things like that, to make sure that our bodies are well nurtured.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that the truth? I remember reading somewhere that they said compared to 1954, that's when the RDA was developed. They took in Boston and they analyzed a 150-pound Irishman in Boston in 1954, and they said, here's the nutrients, the minimum amount of nutrients to prevent scurvy and rickets. And that's what they based the RDA on in 1954. And here we are, 2026, and our needs are a lot higher because we're living in a stressed out world.
Exactly. And stress is the number one killer. Seriously, and we need this release every single day. If it's the gym, if it's going for a walk, if it's just making sure that you're healthier by exercising. We forget about that. I mean, we were so sedentary that my job is sitting in front of a computer taking phone calls. I know I need sometime at noon, I go to the gym and take an hour, my hour lunch there, and just work out and just put some music that I can relax and come back. And I feel healthier. My mind is more clear. My body will absorb all the supplements that I'm taking and making me, healthier. And we all, as a community, no matter what we do on a regular basis, we need that time to avoid, that stress that will, slowly kill us at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's exactly it. So, as we get on the call and, everyone, thanks for joining us tonight and or tomorrow morning, whatever it happens to be, wherever you live. But, you know, uh, hit the like button if you like what you're hearing, share it with people, make a comment, because that's what's going to get people to pay attention. If all of a sudden the video just kind of goes, the recording just sits there and nobody does anything, nobody's going to see it. And so hit the like button, share it with people, make a comment. If you don't like what you hear, and get back to me or Milo and let us know what you need to hear. But today's call is how do you get on the products and actually earn enough money through the compensation plan that you can get them for free. And I always tell people that if you listen to some of the gurus in network marketing, like Eric Worre, I don't know if any of you pay attention to him, but Eric Worre says that the average network marketer can go out and find three people. I mean, not only that they can, but they will do that. People will do that. And so when I talk about the compensation plan, I really talk about, okay, if that's what the average person could do, let's build our plan. Let's build our plan around that. Anybody that you talk to could find three people. If they really went out there, they could find three people. And so I say, well, what if I go out and find three, and then I help those three find three each, and then we help those three find three each. You know, the thing about it is, if we can get them to you know understand the comp plan a little bit, and they start spending what I'll call kind of the optimum amount, because it optimizes the comp plan. That's 300 PV. So if we can get people to do that, and you can go out and find three who find three who find three, which is 39 people in your organization. Again, you find three. It might not be the first three that you find. It might be, you might find 10 people, and it might be the last three that actually go out and go to work, because people say to me, well, how do you know if you find the right three? Well, they actually go out and start enrolling people. They find three of their own. So don't just go, well, I found my three. You want to go out and find three who find three. And then, wouldn't you say, Milo, if people were spending 300 PV and you found 300 people, that's essentially a 1 star, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that's one of the things that I like about this. If we create a system and make it easy, like you're saying, sign up three people on auto ships, but that's 900 points in volume. We pay 7%, and that's the direct commissions. That's pretty much your retirement plan. You earn $63 a month just by signing three people who purchase 300, right? Like you were saying, Kurt, if you train those three people to bring those, three people at the same time, that's not comes becomes nine people at 300 points. That's 2,700 points a month that you get. For just by doing that, you get an extra $190, close to that, for those nine people. Plus the other three, that's 27 with 300. That's 8,100. You become a 1 star already. But just in direct commissions, you make an extra $567, which the total comes to like 820 bucks that you make just by having those 27 people. 800 bucks a month, that's not bad. That's a car payment, that's a mortgage or half of it, and that's residual income, guys. So that's something that you will be getting month after month after month just by doing that. So it's very important for you to just to focus on three and make sure that those three do their thing also. That's just recommendations. We're not talking about Fast Start, which is another 25%. We're not talking about Wealth Builder or Coded Bonus, which we're just talking about this one profit center that we have out of the eight that we have. Plus, obviously, if you're purchasing 300 points yourself, you qualify to get 8% back every 4 months in free product. You qualify to receive the everything, the ground shipping that you spend in after 12 consecutive months purchasing these at least 250 or 300 points. So there's a lot of things that we're not saying just by or being on 300 points and having the 3 by 3 that we call that almost a little over 800 $800 a month. That's really good just by sharing your product. And we're not asking you to go sell, guys. One thing that I train, we're not looking for salespeople because that's not who we are. Just tell your story, be a product of the product. Whatever it is, you don't have to make anything up. If you don't have a story, if you're brand new, you're just trying the products, use somebody else, use your upline story, use stories that you've heard that we have online or wherever you heard a story of our products until you get your own story. We're all salesmen, guys. People say, well, I'm not a sales, I don't like to sell. We all sell. When we're looking for our significant other, and you claim you're not sales, you're selling yourself to make sure you attract that other person and you make yourself look good. And that's a sale right there. Every single day, regardless if you guys think that you guys do sales or not, we all sell something. So you go to the movies, you like a movie, you tell everybody this movie was amazing. I loved it. It was exciting for a couple hours. You tell everybody that's a sale. People will say, "Hey, Kurt told me about this movie. I'm gonna go see it just because they trust you." Same thing with products. Guys, right now we're testing a product that's coming up. We're releasing that in at Marrow Mountain. I do blood. I'm doing every other week. I do blood work, just to measure how this product is working. The results are amazing. I've shared this in some calls. My doctor is on this product. My medical doctor that's allowing me to do the blood work. How cool is that? And when you say those testimonies, when you share those testimonials with people, because people know you and you're talking to someone that you know, they'll say, "I want to try it." I want to see how this product works. I told my son, 21 years old, those, kids go to the gym and they want to be all muscles and the six pack and all these things. And I told him, well, I'm on this product and it's helping me work out and it's helping me, define muscle mass. And he's like, I don't believe you, this and that. I showed him the result of blood work and he's like, I want to be on this too. I'm like, well, we were just barely testing. Well, let me know when you release it because I really want that. So things like that, guys, just sharing your testimonial, sharing your story with passion on whatever product it is. That's what attracts people. That's the way that you will get your products for free. That's the way you'll get, monthly basis. That's your way that people will want to sign up and be a part of this company because the products work.
Yeah. Yeah, and Milo, if I was prospecting you, I mean, obviously you sound like you're pretty smart. You're an intelligent guy. And I'm guessing you probably know three other smart people, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Out of they say the average adult knows 2,000 people. And we're just saying find three of them who are at least as smart as you are, and they will go on the products. They will go on the products and and they know three people and so on and so forth. That's how easy this thing is. All of a sudden, like one of my friends said, she was getting a $2,000 check and she didn't even feel like she did any work.
Right. And that's just about, because you share and you just never know, guys, who's going to be the next person who's going to take you to the top. I've been in this industry for 30 years and I've known people that that in a previous company that they shared a product with this person that they couldn't even speak English, but because they shared the product, this person started sharing that product with his contacts, and all of a sudden, this guy, came to be one of the top earners in the company. And this person that shared that product years ago obviously was making a lot of money because he shared that product with this person. So you never know who is hungry enough that needs this opportunity, that needs the product, that's going to take it and run with it. and become, the next 10 star or the next, crown diamond in the company. We want to make sure that whoever we have communication with or contact with, we tell them what we do and the products that we have. I go to lunch with different people when I travel, and I see, when we go to restaurants, when we go to wherever, they always talking about the products and what do you do, and they're trying to build a relationship with uh, with the server, and what do you do for a living, and do you like your job, and all of a sudden, they're talking about the products, and I have this pre-workout. If this is a younger kid, I have this pre-workout product that works, wonders. I have this post-workout, whatever it is. They share a little, sample with them, and they leave the phone number, and they just planted the seed. So it's very important, if we're serious about building the business, guys, we want to make sure that we're ready in a daily basis, because we go out and we meet people, regardless if we know them or not. If we are, walking to the store, or we are at the store shopping, we have communication with people, people that are working, people that are there, so you just never know where you're going to find someone. So you might as well be ready to share the opportunity. That is, if we are very serious in building.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing that I try and tell people is that, it's your best three people probably is somebody that you really don't even know right now. A lot of people, they think, oh, my buddy Bob, or my brother Bill, and they're thinking of all these people that they already know. The thing about it is that they remember you like I go back to my hometown. I graduated with 18 people, and everybody knew when I sneezed. They knew when I did this and did that, and that's what they remember you by. So they're not your best prospects. Your best prospects are probably somebody who they have no reason to doubt you.
Right, exactly. And then I've seen that a lot too. People that they share the opportunity with strangers, and all of a sudden their family members, come back 2 or 6 months later and say, "Hey, why didn't you tell me about this?" Because obviously, the families, they usually don't believe what you're doing. But I'm, here reading in the comments, Maggie was saying that 30 years ago, when she started New Ways, that was this was the information they were sharing. And that's exactly right, Maggie, because back then, when they started network marketing, the whole purpose of this industry it was man to man, or person to person, belly to belly, right? And you do conversation, and you build relationships, and you do in-home meetings, and you create those relationships when you talk to people, and when you look at them in the eye and say, this product has changed my life. It's very different than if we do, social media or whatever it is. Obviously, it works, because right now there's a lot of people on social media, but just to talk to people about this opportunity, to talk to them about how simple this is, to earn an extra income, and just to talk to anyone, and build this business, every single day.
Right. Yeah. And Maggie says, what would we suggest as the best information to send out to people? And really, what I tell people, when you're talking to the right person, it really doesn't matter what you say. If you're talking to the right person and they're looking for something, you can't say the wrong thing. The biggest problem that I see is you find someone that's interested, and the next thing you do is you talk so much that you actually talk them out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Too much information is not really good. Just give them enough that they stay thirsty. Don't get them with a garden hose and drown them. Just give them a little sip of water, and get them a little interested in what it is. And obviously you need to kind of read people too. That's when you talk to people and start building these relationships, and start kind of getting to know who they are, what they do, kind of thing. And then after that, you can pick on whatever product we have that will help them on a daily basis.
Yeah. And it might not be a product. I mean, some people, like when I go out talking to people, I'm looking for that business builder. I'm looking for the guy who wants to build the business. I'm looking for somebody who wants to make $100,000 a month, and when I find him or her, I mean, Yeah, I'm gonna get them anything that they want. I'm gonna give them some samples. I'll give them some samples of the comp plan by giving them $1 even, and just here's what we do. And it's really that simple. Milo, Katie asked me, she had asked me before we did the call to have you explain, you know, because a lot of people say, yeah, go out and find three people who find three people or find three people. But there's always those people that are, a little bit more analytical and they want to know, well, what are the actual requirements of a 1 star? And so, I mean, could you just quickly just tell everybody what are the requirements?
Yeah, to be a one star, that's probably the on our compensation plan. That's when we started going into like auto bonus, lifestyle bonus, and getting a little more depth on the compensation plan. So basically, to be a one star, you need to be purchasing at least 200 PV in a monthly basis. That's one of the requirements to do that, and you need at least at 5,000 qualifying downline volume. The qualified downline volume that we talk about is we have a rule that's called the 50% rule, which means that you can't use more than 50% of your strongest leg for qualification purposes, right? Just to make sure that we protect the company and people build the right way. So, but as a one star, I mean that really it could be the 5,000 points could be in one leg if you purchase all the volume under one person. But regardless, if you have two or three lines, you need to make sure that you have combined, you have at least 5,000 points, and that will open 6 levels on your direct payout. So 6 levels at 7%. When it comes to commissions, we'll pay everything. Don't think that because we're only applying the 50% on the strongest leg, we won't pay for everything. No, that's just for qualification purposes. But we do pay 7% on the whole volume that you have in a monthly basis. So you get 6 levels down, and then plus that you open what we call the check match, which if you have a 1 star in personally sponsored, then you get an extra 10% commissions on whatever that 1 star made in that monthly check on their direct commissions check. So plus you get a $200 auto bonus on a monthly basis, and you get $250 just by hitting that 1 star. So basically, that's the qualifications that you need to hit 1 star. Like I said, it's not super hard. If you do the 3x3 that Kurt was saying earlier, with 3 levels, you make that over 5,000 points. That the requirement you make a little over 8,000 points on that. So if you follow the 3x3 for 3 levels, you become a 1 star, and then you will get that 7% on all 6 levels, and you participate also on the check match as well.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that, I need to talk about, I always try and talk about it, is that you said, the qualification you have to do minimum 200 PV yourself to qualify. But if you're doing this, I'm going to say the correct way. I mean, in my opinion, you're going to optimize it and you're going to teach your people to optimize it. Now, if you're just a customer, yeah, buy what you want, buy a tube of toothpaste, buy some shampoo, do things like that. But if you're building it, you really need to look at how do you optimize it? How do you make it so it's optimized? So you do that 300 PV. And what I try and teach people when you come on board, you don't want to leave any money on the table. I mean, why would you want to send money back to the Mowers? Why would you want to spend money back, to Sisel? Why not do the wealth builder right away? Join as a wealth builder, and then just sign up for 300 PV every month after that. And that's what I've been doing for over 10 years, Milo. I haven't gone below 300 PV ever, and everything's on an auto ship because I don't want to accidentally have a month where I forget to put my order in.
Right. And once you do that on your auto ship, first of all, the benefits of auto ships is like you were saying, you don't forget to place an order. You're always qualified. Plus, if you place a 300 point auto ship, you get an extra 5% from the wholesale price when you purchase that in a monthly basis. And obviously you get those free products at the end of every 4 months also because you qualify for those as well. So that's very important to train yourself to do that transfer spending that we were talking about earlier. Everybody needs toothpaste. Everybody needs laundry detergents, and everybody needs dish soap or bar soap, body washes. All the things that we have that we use on a daily basis. Why not just replace them with products that are high quality, that are toxin free, that will actually help us be healthier and help our family members that use these products at the same time. Obviously, it takes a little, way more than 300 points if you really want to do that to replace some of those products or just whatever you can afford. But it's very important for you guys to take advantage of the 300 of the 5% discount for being on auto ship and to replace those toxic products that you have at home.
Right on, right on. Well, Milo, we've covered everything that I really wanted to cover on the call today. Is there anything you can think of that you just want to say that you want to add that maybe, a tip or a trick or anything that you can tell people to just make it so it's understandable and more easy for them to share and to do anything at all?
Just keep it simple, guys. And we talk about that a lot, but we really don't apply it sometimes. Sometimes we want to give them a whole bunch of information, and we're talking about the H pill, and we're talking about glycation and the cells and the. Keep it simple. People don't lose interest if you use big words or if you go too deep into a product. Keep it very
Yeah.
simple. If you're talking about product, if you're talking about compensation plan, don't talk about check match. Don't talk about, just talk about how you get your products for free. Wealth on the wealth builder, you don't need to know the details of everything. We were talking about analysis paralysis and how Tom Senior would use that. You don't need to be a Tom Senior or a Kurt Fisnick to know everything about the product. You don't. I think use your lack of knowledge as an advantage because people want to learn together. Say, you know what? I'm just barely learning about why don't we learn together? Why don't you and I team up and learn together how this company pays or how the products work? It's easier to become part of a herd. Like a herd of horses. It creates this team energy that you want to be a part of, that you want to learn with someone instead of just saying, "Oh yeah, I know everything," and I do want to. Obviously, that's not duplicatable. Keep it simple and be consistent. One thing that I always train on is consistency on anything that you do. Weight loss, personal development, business building. If you're consistent on doing the small things, you will be successful on the big things. But you can't expect to get the big things without going through the small ones. And that takes consistency, that takes determination, that takes mindset. You need to be ready mentally to make sure that you reach those small goals that are going to take you to the bigger goals. If you're not ready mentally, guys, don't even bother. Don't even bother to go to the gym or losing weight or lose weight if you're not ready mentally because you're going to give up and it's going to be too hard and you're going to fail. Make sure that you're ready mentally and know exactly what you're getting into and know that's not going to be easy and know that you're going to get no's and rejections. But I'll at the same time stay positive and do the little things that will take you to see results. You won't see results every single day, but at the end of the day, if you're consistent, you'll start seeing the results, in weeks and you'll reach your small goals and all of a sudden you hit momentum and your team will just be working and doing the things that you trained from the beginning.
Right on, right on. Well, Milo, thanks for joining us today. And for all of you across the globe, because this is the global team, thanks for taking time to join us. And make sure, and like I said earlier, hit the like button, make a comment on the video. If you don't like what you heard, get back to me or Milo and just say, hey, we need to talk more about this or that. And we'll try and tailor our next call into that. But like Milo says, keep it simple, keep it easy, and just really try and get everybody to understand that it's such an easy business. It really is. And it might not be your first three, it might be your last three. Who knows? I mean, that's the whole thing. You don't know who it's going to be. And you just keep going out there and sharing all the time. And pretty soon you're going to find yourself getting a check, not just for the, $800 that Milo's talking about. All of a sudden you might be getting a check for 2,000, 3,000, and who cares where it's coming from? So just keep sharing it. So,
Exactly. And never give up. One thing very important, just keep doing it, guys. It does work. Products work. We're in business for almost 20 years. There's a reason behind that. The reason is because the products do work, because we do pay, because we're legit, and we're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. So thank you for all you do. Thank you, Kurt, for having me on the call, and let us know how we can help, guys.
all right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Milo. Have a good weekend, everyone. Bye bye.